Hello everybody. First off, the last video I made with my bike blew up like crazy. Like, I think it has over 21,000 views already. Or no, scratch that, 2,100. What am I thinking? But anyways, today I'm doing sort of the same thing. I'm gonna take my bike out. I'm gonna test it out in the park down in Auburn, but I thought I'd bring along a friend. So I'm gonna go get Shane today, and we're gonna cruise around with the Rose Ave. So I'm at Shane's now. Gonna get the bike out. Shane's never seen the bike in real life. You ready? There it is. See it? Isn't it beautiful?
Looks like a bag of trash.
You're gonna take that comment back after I take it out, Shane. First reaction? Do you retract your statement now?
I forgot what I said. Looks like a little cafe racer.
Yeah. So Shane and we're gonna take our bikes over to the park now, and that's where we're going to test it out a little bit more. Or I'm gonna have Shane test ride the bike. We're doing it, Shane. So we learned one thing: do not vlog and bike with this bike at the same time. It's a bad thing. It'll cut your hands up. Okay, take two. We're at the park now. Plenty of terrain for us to cover. I'm gonna hand the bike over to Shane. He's gonna test it out for us, and he's gonna give us a review afterwards. I'm gonna try my hardest to keep up with him with my drone. And wear a helmet, kids. Wear gloves, because I crashed. Damage report. We got a couple scrapes here, up here on the handlebar, and we broke, you can't see it very well, but there's a crack right here in the light. I'll have to talk about this later, but let's just get Shane rolling here. Ready?
I think so.
Okay, have at it.
From above, everyday word seems turning into love song. When you speak, angel, sing from above. Everyday word seems.
So now that Shane and I rode the bike, we're gonna do a quick little review before we do more bike footage. Shane and I are about to do our review about the bike. Shane and I have a lot to say. I know Super 73 and some of you may care about what we might have to say, but if you don't and you just want to see the bike at night cruising around with its lights, first time I'm gonna do nighttime footage with the bike. Skip to this time right now. Do it right now. So after trying the bike out for the first time, what do you think about it, Shane?
The bike seat needs a lot of improvement. They could have made it more of a saddle style so it's more comfortable. There's absolutely no suspension in the bike whatsoever. And so with that being said, obviously the intention of the bike is not to be for off-road or anything.
Yeah. And in the instructions they say that, like avoid snow, rainy, like watery conditions because of the battery, but also don't really take it off road or anything like that. So
right. So
but it would be cool if it had a little bit of suspension, because say you're going down a sidewalk and there happens to be a tree root that happens to mess up the sidewalk. If you go over that on the bump, it's not very comfortable, and Shane and I both noticed that on the bike.
the back end, as a result, likes to step out a bit. I noticed that it's a little unsettled over those bumps, and if you try to brake or anything, the bike just isn't happy doing it.
Yeah. What do you like about the body of the bike? Do you
Like the looks?
Yeah, does the appearance look okay? Do you like the looks of the bike?
I like the looks of the bike. I see where they were trying to get with kind of like the motorcycle vibe. I think the tires are a little bit fat, but I guess that's just the cruiser bike style. I think that the headlight on the bike, I think if it had like one of those, like you see on the World War II bikes that the U.S. Army used, it had like that little shade that come over, and it was kind of cut at an angle. I think that would look nice. And then obviously a nicer seat, something more like saddle style, like the early BMW bike.
But I understand where you're coming from, is that it's interesting, but it's not. It could be more comfortable.
Yeah, it could definitely be more comfortable.
One thing I wanted to talk about was the light on the bike. Like, I love the body and everything about the bike, but when I crashed it today, it has all these scratches up here, but it also like broke down here on the bottom of the body. It's on this side. It's all this cracking right here. Now, Shane and I have been talking about it, and it's just like, we would want if they could, try to make the body of the light of maybe a light metal,
Yeah.
so that the bike, it doesn't add more weight to the bike. But if you happen to crash the bike for whatever reason, the light won't be damaged in any way.
It's just that the housing on it was so cheap. Like, it was a cheap plastic and just easy to crack. Like, for being such an expensive bike, you would think that they wouldn't skimp on that stuff. Like, you would think it'd be like an aluminum housing or carbon fiber or something. Something that's strong, it's not going to break as easily.
Yeah, and I think because the major price point, or the major reason why the bike is so expensive, is because the body is made out of steel and the battery itself is so large and so heavy. And it's like, I think they just made a video where they said that your bike battery is like half the price of the bike itself. So another thing that's also been an issue with the bike, from what I've heard, I can't remember his full name, but Nick, he watched my video. He was the contest winner who won the first ever produced Rose Ave besides Jesse. And he was talking to me about his front tire on the bike, and it wasn't spinning freely like a normal bike tire. Let me explain.
You go. So like with the front wheel on a normal bicycle, you know, it spins like really nice and free.
Yeah, just perfect, you know.
And you would think that that's how it should be.
Yeah, but on the Rose Ave, since we have it propped up here, when I go to spin it, can you hold the frame so that it doesn't tip over? When I go to spin it, see how the bike, and you're not holding the brakes, are you?
No.
Okay,
I got my hands right here.
you spin it. You spin the front tire, yeah. See, so Shane's not touching the brake at all, and that front tire's not spinning. So Shane and I have been talking about it, and a bunch of other people who own Super 73 bikes or lithium cycle bikes. I'm still trying to figure out the whole company thing, but they're having the same issue, and we're curious why. Is it because of the brake and the disc brake? Is it that, and the bike is designed that way so that it creates more drag so the braking is easier? Because the brakes as they are now, when I didn't do any adjusting of the bike or the brakes, they're pretty strong. They're pretty touchy, especially the back brake. The back brake is more strong than the front brake, which should be, according to Shane, they should be the other way around. The front brake should be stronger.
Well, yeah, it's just physics, because the transfer of energy goes towards the front as you're trying to slow down. All the weight over the axle is going to move forward because it still wants to move.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think that the front brakes should be stronger than the rear brakes, but they're not. And it leads to like the rear tire kind of locking up and jumping around over like sort of bumpy surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little unsettled.
What I want to know from the bike company personally, maybe you guys could do another like update video or like frequently asked questions video about this, because according to Nick, a lot of people have the same question about the front disc brake / tire not spinning freely, and probably the brakes itself. And the last thing I wanted to just review about the whole bike company and bike was the instruction manual that is included when you get the bike. Now, I know you guys addressed this in one of your most recent videos on how to remove the battery and how to charge the battery. I was able to figure out how to charge the battery I had to search for maybe a half an hour till I found like an instructions manual on the battery itself, but it didn't really say that it worked specifically for the Rose Ave or Scout battery for the bike, but it told me how to charge the battery. But what I'm trying to say is, in the instructions manual on how to build the bike, it just tells you how to build the bike, and then it only has a bunch of like warnings and like warranty kind of things inside the instruction manual, but it doesn't have those simple things like, how do I remove the battery? How do I charge the battery? I think when you sell a bike that nobody probably will ever have, or they're getting this bike from you guys for the first time ever, that you would probably include instructions on how to charge the bike, since it's an electric bike. So that brings me to like my main point, is that I love Super 73. I love this bike. It's helped out my the views on that last video I made about the bike tremendously. Helped my channel grow just ever so slightly. I'm very appreciative. But one thing I wish that they would work on for sure was communication. Now, I know that they make update videos or frequently asked videos on problems with the bike or whatever that riders are having, but I feel like people shouldn't have to have questions. Everything should just kind of just be straightforward. You know, all instructions that should ever come up should be already in this instructions manual when you get the bike. And I don't know, I just think if they worked on their communication, or they updated their website where people could post frequently asked questions. I know you can email them and call them about questions, but I think it'd be nice to have like a frequently asked questions tab on their website where people can be like, what Shane and I were saying, why does the front wheel not spin freely? Why does my front wheel make a scratchy noise or whatever? That's what Nick's bike problem was. If they had like a frequently asked questions tab, people could like, you know, upvote the issue so that maybe the company would say, oh my gosh, this is a major issue that we need to look into, or we need to recall a certain bike part. And then I think that would just bring the whole biking, you know, Super 73, the super squad together, and, you know, we would, I don't know, it would just be cool. I think it would be cool to create an app for the bike so that people can share their biking experiences, give their reviews about their bike, give reviews about trails that people have biked on, or you know, trips they went on. You know, give other people insight about where they can take this bike and, you know, make the best of it. So I'm about to film the last bit of this video. I was really curious why there's like zero footage of nighttime riding of the Rose Ave, or I haven't really seen anything with any of the other models of the bikes that Lithium Cycles makes. So tonight I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna drive around, and hopefully get some good night footage of the bike. So something you might have noticed is that I bought some lights on Amazon that go on the spokes. They're not from the bike company, but I just wanted to see how cool they were. So that's why I attached the GoPro here. I need gloves because it's freezing cold out here. So I'm about to leave Shane's house right now. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know it's long, so just bear with me. I wanted to include as much as the best shots of today's biking experience, but also include that really long review. So if you happen to watch the whole video all the way through, I hope you'll leave a like at the end of this video and comment. I can't believe how many people commented on the last video, and I love responding to comments, so don't be afraid to comment on the video. To wrap all this up, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.